Tom, I'm afraid I have some bad news. That's the nicest roast that you're going to get. I think coming up next is Glennon D. Jamboretz. Glennon D. Jamboretz is known in some circles as Jambo. This was the man who actually gave me my first job in advertising, which is scary. My first real job in advertising. And I think he helped to give Tom his first real job in advertising. And when I was talking to Glenn earlier, he told me that was one of his biggest regrets, actually. So without further ado, Jambo.
A lot of material I'm not going to be able to use tonight, Tom. Okay. You know, it is interesting when we walked in. Coach and I walked in together tonight and we looked around and there's so many old faces and friendly faces. I'll get the crap out of the way first by saying it's good to see everyone still lives in this business and has fun. So to that, one more continuation of that tonight. I have to wear them. Earlier this evening, I took the time to look around the room, though. I was having a beer, Budweiser as always, to see if how many people around this room really took responsibility for the creative development of Tom Townsend. I saw Charlie was over there, and I saw a few people. They work with you all around. And Nello wasn't here. I don't know what the hell happened to Nello. But anyhow, I was specifically looking for one guy, and I thought he'd be here. It was a jolly old fart, John Smith. You know, John Smith. Same with his ex-wife. John Smith, if anybody knew John, knew that he took a lot of credit for Tom's success in the business. And one of the things I always thought was really peculiar is John Smith never worked. John Smith spent 3 days a week in the afternoon matinee at the Shady Oak while Tom was doing all of his work. Kind of reminded me of Ted Simmons, who hired people to do his work. But, you know, John got away with it. Bob Stoles was a very lenient guy in those days. But, you know, Tom was always an account person's dream because not only did he have the ability to have an idea that always sold on the first time out. And we really did. We had very few redos of anything coming out. Coaching just loved the guy. I mean, Dick Brams, if he were alive today, would be here singing praises of your work because we did so many Happy Meals together and drove McDonald's business so far. But, you know, the whole thing was, you know, he did bring him in on budget too. For anybody who's in account work knows how happy that is to eat costs. But I think there was one trade that nobody ever caught on to, and I was sitting talking to Dick Hewlett the other day. And I said, Dick, tough time ahead. I have to go, and we're roasting Tom. And he says, you know, I don't think anybody ever caught on. Every time there was a change or a piece of work, and this particularly goes back to a time when Bob worked for a guy named Bill Havelock. Bill Havelock, God bless him, if he had 3 hands, he'd always be on his ass. You know, he never made a mistake in his life. But he always had an opinion or two about the work. And he always had a suggestion, and Bob had to be the messenger for the suggestion. And we'd be on the phone and tell him, Tom, we want to change this, we want to change this. And Tom would always nod, Dick says, never agreeing, but always nodding. Yeah. Calls back in 10 minutes, said it's fixed. It was the same damn thing. He never changed a thing, and nobody ever knew. Dick said that became his mantra. But enough about the business. I think let's shift gears and talk about your birthday, Tommy boy. Now it's our turn to get even for all the times. Now I remember my own 50th birthday. It was a couple years ago, and my brother, great guy, he came up to me in front of my folks and said, you know, I'll tell you right now, there's 3 things I want you to remember that you turned 50. Number 1, never pass up a urinal. Number 2, never ever trust a fart. Number 3, and I'll cut this one short, never waste an erection. Always kidding. Excuse me if that went over the line. You know, there are numerous advantages to being 50. And I think you can just ask any of us that are older than 50, and you'll find out a person with 80 has a lot of respect for the 50-year-olds. They always say that birthdays are good for you. The more you have, the longer you live. I think that's a good thing too. Yeah. You say that at 50, you've accumulated enough knowledge and wisdom of a half of a century. The bad news is, as we've all developed at 50, CRS, an acronym that stands for can't remember shit. So we've wiped out our memory bank for all that we've learned and shared with other people. I found that the only way to relieve the frustration of being 50-something is to constantly seek new ways of irritating younger, creative people. And I think you've done that very well. But you don't understand, you challenge. Fortunately, in old age, you develop the ability to do this quite naturally in every single thing you do or say, and I think your children will talk to that tonight. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't expecting that kind of retort. I was expecting something else. Well, to me, old age is something that's always 20 years older than you really are. You never really think you're old. It's how you feel. It's how you act. It's how you get along with your friends. It's how they believe you are. Middle age is when you meet so many people that every new person you meet reminds you of someone else. Because your memories will build. You'll have good friends in this business. You'll have good friends in your own personal life. Great family that you have. I can just say that this is a birthday that you'll remember for one hell of a long time. And all of us have known you from the days we brought you from Jacksonville, Florida, up to work, that we just, it was just a miracle. To lose you to Gardner, to lose you to Darcy, Darcy to lose you to Gardner, then we and Tim got together. Fabulous times. You're the legacy of the city. We thank you for it. Welcome.